Welcome to Chris's Storytelling Corner. This is Christopher Moldong of Chris's Storytelling Corner. Today I'm going to do a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 3 and 4. Next time I'll have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 5 and 6 and a movie review for the Justice League. You can check out my author's website at www.chrismoldong.com. You can buy my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom for $4.99. Also, for $2.99, you can buy my short story collection, a collection of 10 short stories in the horror, fantasy, and realistic fiction genres. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to these will be provided on the description. I'd also really like to hear from you guys as well, so leave any comments as far as this review goes. If there's any manga or anime series that you guys want me to watch, and or if there are any manga or anime series that you want me to review. Make sure to subscribe and share this channel as well. So, the way that this works is that I will do a recap of Volume 3 and then give my thoughts on Volume 3 and do the same with Skip Beat Volumes 4. So, just to tell you that we'll have spoilers and let's just get right to it. So, here's Volume 3 of Skip Beat. So the volume begins with Ruriko and Kyoko fighting after Kyoko asks her about being allergic to UV rays, and then Ruriko acts the tea ceremony scene with Ren, but she doesn't act very well. Kyoko tells Ruriko that she'll be in her shadow. Kyoko acts with Ren in the tea ceremony scene and smiles despite the pain. Ren then acts seriously with her. The director sees Kyoko and calls to stop the scene. Kyoko is pale and is sweating badly. She tells her that she cannot stand up because the customer is still here. The director tells Ren to leave and she collapses. Ruriko requests the director to act once more. When Kyoko wakes up, Ruriko gives her a 100% stamp. Ruriko admits to liking Kyoko a bit. Kyoko is mad at herself because she was at Ren's mercy like a child. Later, Yashiro talks to Ren. Yashiro tells him that he thought that he liked Kyoko. Ren tells him that he liked her guts. Kyoko has a photo shoot. She tells the director that she's glad that she lost to Ruriko. She would have been mad at herself for being forced to react to the way that Ren wanted her to. Ren and Mr. Yashiro walk Kyoko to her room, but she totally ignores Ren. Yashiro asks how long she's been doing tea ceremony. Kyoko then realizes that she was being trained to become Shotaro's wife. She comes to the conclusion that she's completely empty inside. Once in her room, Kyoko is told to remove her makeup, but she's hesitant to do so. She walks with Ren and Yashiro again. She admits to Ren that she tried her best for revenge, and Ren gives her a -10 stamp. Mr. Sawara talks to President Lori, who I'll just now refer to as Lori. Lori suggests to use Kyoko to reform someone. Kyoko reads the LME handbook. She finds out that there's a training school affiliated with LME and an actor's course. Kyoko sees Miss Kotonami, and it turns out that Miss Kotonami is now a part of the Love Me section. At the training school, Lori is informed that some of the students are getting hurt. They can't find a girl who has been interrupting practice. So Kyoko asks Miss Kotonami why she doesn't join another agency like Akatoki. They get interrupted by Mr. Sawara before Miss Kotonami can answer. Mr. Sawara tells them that he wants them to go to the training school, and it's revealed that the president's granddaughter has been causing the problems there, and it turns out that she's the girl that was at the audition that they didn't treat very nicely. Lori wants to ask Kyoko something regarding his granddaughter, and at the training school, Kyoko is told by Lori that his granddaughter, Maria, has been causing problems at the training school because of a play called The Miraculous Language of Angels. Kyoko asks a favor in exchange for helping, and Lori agrees that if Kyoko removes the thorns in Maria's heart, he'll waive the fees to the training school. Miss Kotanami also agrees to help, and they lure Maria out. The students at the training school get angry at Kyoko and Miss Kotanami, and then Maria takes issue with the play. It turns out that the events of the play hit a chord with something that happened in Maria's life involving her parents. The students challenge Kyoko to act out the play with the big sister hating the heroine. Kyoko acts out the scene and changes a line from the script. At the end of the volume, everyone is shocked about Kyoko changing the line. So, some thoughts on Volume 3. Kyoko, she's showing little more about her persistence and just her want for revenge. Her guts are taking her quite far. Her guts to audition and to complete the tea ceremony scene have seemed to have gotten some level of respect. Um, she also seems to have some knack for acting right now, as shown with the fact that, uh, excuse me, that Ren acted seriously around her. So, there's something here. We just don't quite know what's going on. We also know that Kyoko, being a Love Me member, is pretty much doing a lot of odd jobs. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, there's this real, I guess, prissy um, idol. You got to reform her. Oh, hey, my granddaughter's acting out. You got to help her. And it's just kind of like, okay. Um, I kind of wonder how far that's going to go. But also, it does seem like Kyoko's being able, through this and her guts, she's able to get a little bit of acting in there. And that right there kind of leads to her getting her revenge. I mean, ultimately, she wants to get into business, she wants to get big, and in that sense, get revenge on show. So, in that sense, maybe that's where this is all kind of. It seems like this is all kind of headed. It's kind of like the pretense is the Love Me section request, but it kind of leads to some form of acting job or something of the sort. We see a little more of Miss Kotanami, also known as Moko. Humiliatingly so, she is now a Love Me member. She will actually use her status as a Love Me member to her advantage. And that's something with Miss Kotanami that was kind of noticeable, that she seems to be something of an opportunist. Even when he first met her, that's kind of the impression I got. It's like, okay, she's going to kind of use what she can in order to get what she wants, whether it's some sort of acting role or whatnot. So she doesn't seem to be. She seems to have a mean personality, per se. She's not a nice person, per se, but she's not like she doesn't seem particularly evil, and kind of just goes along with things, I guess. With like Kyoko involved now and Kotanami involved, I mean, you really got this straight man comedy character thing going on. Kyoko being the comedy character, Kotanami being the straight man, and I kind of wonder how that's gonna go. They're like friends in a sense, but like Miss Kotanami doesn't seem to really like Kyoko very much. So it's a really odd relationship there. We found out that Maria, the girl we saw in the beginning, is the granddaughter of Lori, has some issues with her parents. She seems to have taken quite a liking to Kyoko because Kyoko's so weird, and Kyoko seems to be into the occult. She makes cursed dolls and whatnot, and Maria's kind of into that. Maria is, she's definitely one of those like seems sweet on the outside, is a real deceiving kind of two-faced, kind of a deceiving person on the inside. I mean, she's not exactly nice with interrupting the scenes, but I guess there's a deeper reason for this. So she's not a bad person per se, but she's not exactly this nice, innocent, sweet girl as well. Um, Speaking of parents, Kyoko, there's something going on with Kyoko and her parents. We don't really quite know it yet. I don't get an impression that she particularly has a good relationship with her mom. Don't really talk much about her dad. Um, that's something to keep an eye out for moving forward. Uh, there's also Ren, who's always around. Uh, he has this really odd relationship with with Kyoko. She's not. I mean, I guess because he takes acting quite seriously, and if Kyoko doesn't take acting quite seriously, then he's not gonna be nice to Kyoko. But he's really just not nice to Kyoko at all. Well, not at all. I mean, there are times where there's that time when she hurt her ankle, and then he kind of saved her. But yeah, Ren's really odd because he's not a very pleasant person when you get to know him. He acts like, a cool, calm, collected guy, and he kind of is. But when it comes to Kyoko, I mean, he's not very nice. It gives her the -10 stamp. Um, Likes Kyoko's guts, but isn't fond of her motivation. We'll kind of see how the relationship kind of moves forward, though. Because at this point, Ren seems to be the only guy in Kyoko's life at this point. I mean, Shofua was there. Now it's kind of Ren. And we got to see more of President Lori. He's kind of a strange guy. Like, when he's not serious, he's a very eccentric man. When he is serious, he's smart. Like, he can recognize ridiculousness when he sees it. Sometimes when he's talking to Maria, for example, like there's, he kind of realizes the ridiculousness of what Maria is saying at times. So he's not like a dumb guy. He's very aware. You know what I mean? He seems to be very aware of his surroundings and what's going on. But at other times, he can be quite um, just eccentric, almost mischievous as well. We're all, we're going into this training school acting class thing going on. Once again, it's kind of like love me section. You know, if you got the love me section, you got a job. Oh, but here's a chance for you to act. So it's just kind of like it's always kind of going back to that. Here's a chance for you to act, to improve, or to reveal stuff about Kyoko's acting and whatnot. So on to Volume 4. The volume begins with Maria's past and her not trusting grown-ups. Kyoko continues acting out the play, and Maria starts crying due to Kyoko's honesty. She gets the person she's acting with to speak out of the script. Maria yells out that her dad sends out an email to her twice a day. Kyoko continues to play the scene but she's talking to Maria as she's doing it, but she's still playing the scene. Maria reveals that her father writes that he loves her at the end of all her emails, and in that sense, Maria gets her answer to like what's going on and whatnot, and Kyoko kind of removes the thorn in Maria's heart in that sense. Lori and Miss Kotanami, who I will now call Moko, as I think her name's Kane, but Kyoko calls her Moko, so I'll call her Moko. Moko recognized Kyoko as a potential force in acting. Lori tells Kyoko that since she's a minor, when she makes her debut, she'll need her mother's approval. Kyoko reveals that her mother doesn't care where she is or what she's doing. She asks Lori if she still needs her mother's approval. Lori tells her no, not necessarily. Kyoko sits on the stairs with a stone in her hands. Kyoko drops it and Ren picks it up. Kyoko looks for it, yelling corn. Corn is apparently the name of the person who gave Kyoko the stone. So Ren gives Kyoko back the stone, and she smiles in a way she never has before. Ren asks Kyoko if she lived in Kyoto. She says that she did, and he figured that out because the stone was mined in Kyoto. Ren then dupes Kyoto. He figures that the person that Kyoko wants revenge on duped her. She leaves but gives him a crude gesture before she leaves. Ren walks with Yashiro and recalls Kyoko when she was a child. It's strongly implied that Ren gave her the stone. He comments that she's changed, but not as much as him. Kyoko goes to the training school, but Moko ignores her. Mr. Sawara sees Kyoko and asks if she'd like to do some TV work. Kyoko goes and sees Moko. They sit in the audience of a variety show as fillers. The manager of a group called Bridge Rock approaches them, inquiring if they do some last-minute work. They were told by he was told by Mr. Sawara about the two. Moko agrees to do it, but instead of instead, let's see. Instead, I lost my place. But instead, um, they dress up Kyoko up in a hen costume, whose name is Bo. As Bo, she goes out there with Bridge Rock for the new show, Yappa Kimagure Rock, and Sho Fuwa is the special guest. Kyoko figures that since she's disguised, she can use this opportunity to avenge herself a little. She finds badminton rackets and remembers that she would always beat Sho at badminton. Bo is given egg-shaped capsules that contain questions and requests from the guest. The first question asks about Sho's real name. Sho says that he threw away his past and can't reveal his name. The next question asks Sho to play badminton. Bo presents the racket and shuttlecock, or they called it birdie. Sho plays badminton against Bo, and if Sho loses, he has to howl. So Bo performs a shot that Sho hated the most that Kyoko would utilize on him when they were kids. But the birdie gets caught in the ceiling and the game is over. Sho starts thinking about the real name thing, like, who figured out his real name, and badminton as well. The only person he's ever played badminton with is Kyoko, and Sho starts to kind of suspect that Kyoko could be the hen. Kyoko could get scolded by the producer for doing something unauthorized. So back to the show. They're in the middle of the show, and Sho tries to remove Bo's head. He suspects that the person in the Bo costume is someone he knows. They fight, and Bo ends up on top of Sho. Sho touches Bo's chest area and figures that the person inside the costume is a woman. So Bo gets really mad at Sho. Backstage, the producer bans Kyoko from the station. It's revealed that she attacked Sho and choked him. Sho does a performance that takes the place of Bo's segment at the end of the show. She watches the performance and realizes that she's just a nameless newcomer while he's a superstar. After the show, Sho strongly assumes that the person in the hen costume is Kyoko. He says that he won't be caught by someone like her. Kyoko walks around backstage in the Bo costume and sees Ren sitting alone by himself. Ren asks for Bo's help. He asks for a cell phone, but Bo doesn't have one. Bo accuses Ren of not understanding a word in the script. Bo then calls Ren out for his fake smile as well, and Ren gets very mad. Bo apologizes as Ren looks like he's getting madder. Ren forgives Bo, and they sit and go over what Ren was having problems with in the script. Ren thinks that this word, tentekomai, is a dance. Bo apparently laughs at Ren for not knowing what it is. Bo tells Ren that she's been fired from this job and wants to wear the costume longer. So the whole time, Kyoko's wearing the Bo costume, so Ren doesn't know that it's Kyoko in there. He just sees the chicken, you know. Ren admits that he's been fired from acting jobs. When he was starting out as an actor, he was immature and didn't listen to the director, and apparently got fired for a lot of jobs. Bo implies that Ren was in showbiz somewhere other than Japan. Ren gives Bo an American gesture. Ren tells Bo that he lived in the United States for a long time. Later, Ren approaches Bo and thanks her, but not with the lying, gentlemanly smile, but like a real smile. Kyoko's heart suddenly quickened for a moment. So at the end of the volume, Kyoko gets cheered up and is more determined to do her best again. So some thoughts on volume 4. The Maria thing is pretty much solved. The thorn inside Maria's heart is now gone. I don't really know if Maria is going to play any type of bigger role here moving forward, but she is kind of like, she seems to be something of a friend slash confidant to Kyoko. I'm sure we'll see her around. She is the granddaughter to Lori after all. You know, I just don't know if she's going to play like any type of bigger role moving forward. Kyoko looks like she's becoming a force in acting. You know, we got to really see her act out a script, kind of change it around, and you know, she kind of flipped the script in her own right. You know, because Ren led Kyoko to acting a certain way, and Kyoko led an actress to act in a certain way that favored Kyoko. So Kyoko might be way ahead in terms of ability, and you know, we're just starting to see that right now. Moko greatly recognizes it and is subsequently ignoring her. It seems like they kind of made up in a sense, so. And you know, once again, they have this really odd relationship, you know, because it's just like they're kind of friends, kind of not. They'll do like jobs together. Moko agrees to do a job. Kyoko gets put into hen suit. You know, Moko's just kind of like, yeah, no, this, you know, it's all yours. You know, I got nothing to do with this. But then even then, somewhere in the middle of it, like Moko actually realizes that, like, you know, Kyoko's putting her all into this and is kind of going with it. So you know, she definitely has, you know, Kyoko definitely has some latent ability that Moko is very, excuse me, is very aware of. Um, got to see the stone, you know, so there's this stone here, and it has to do with Kyoko's past. You know, she actually got the stone seemingly from Ren. So now there's an even deeper relationship going on with Ren and Kyoko that I'm sure is going to be revealed in future volumes. Ren seems to know Kyoko from when they were kids, and he's aware of it. Kyoko does not seem to be aware that Ren is a childhood friend. Seems like Ren is this corn character. So, there's something going on here. Um, I don't know where it's gonna lead to, but when you got that type of thing going on, it's a shoujo manga. Yeah, I mean, let's kind of face fact. Like I've read enough shoujo manga to realize that the potential for love interest is kind of here. Um, Kyoko's heart did quicken a bit too, near the end of the volume. So something's going on here. It is something to greatly look out for. Can't just be a childhood friend. There's some secrets between the two because Kyoko doesn't really know who Ren is. Ren seems to know who Kyoko is. Actually, scratch that. You enter Bo, and Bo and Ren are kind of friends here. But Ren doesn't know that Kyoko is Bo. So, but Bo knows Ren and gets to know a different side of Ren that she wouldn't have known if she's talking to her if she's talking to Ren as Kyoko. So there's something, like I said, there's like this weird thing with Ren, Kyoko, and Bo, if you actually think about it. And then Ren and Kyoko have this past thing going on. It's very interesting. Finally got to see Shofua back. He is the exact same dude, full of himself. Kyoko, though, cannot seem to get a break on show at this point. I mean, but at the same time, at this point, it's not a break, but just I guess like a shot at like show, a way to embarrass him, get her revenge or whatnot, is what I mean by that. But I guess at this stage of the game, Kyoko at least came to the realization of like, hey, I'm a newcomer. He's already a superstar. She has some catching up to do, but as readers, we're starting to realize that she might catch up to him. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but with her latent acting ability, um, it's gonna happen. Sho already suspects that Kyoko was Bo, so Sho kind of has this idea now. Hey, look, Kyoko's getting in the business. I don't think he's a guy that thinks too deeply, but like he's aware that she's in the business now. And that's something he's not going to get caught so easily. We also get to learn a little bit about Ren's past. This guy comes off cool, collected. Turns out this guy was, super serious about acting, right? Oh no. When he was a young actor, he was getting fired. He was immature. He didn't get along with the directors. So there's a lot to know about Ren. I mean, like as a kid, as a young actor, and even now, he's probably one of the more mysterious and multi-dimensional characters of the series so far. We see a lot of different sides to him. The actor side, he's always acting. He's trying to put the lying, gentlemanly smile. But then there's like this authentic Ren as well, and then his weird relationship with Kyoko. And like I said, by the end of the volume, her heart quickened a bit for Ren. You know, gonna lead somewhere. Um, you know, now we're still at the training school thing. She already got fired from her gig, so we don't really know where she's gonna go moving forward. She's still a Love Me member. I'm sure there's gonna have more Love Me member duties going on. Moko's around. Um, People are starting to acknowledge her a bit as far as a potential actress and whatnot. So, I mean, the volume just kind of left off with her just kind of like, okay, this kind of ended. Let's move forward. So, it's going to be interesting to see where the next story arc goes because this volume didn't actually hint at like what's to come. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel. Thank you for listening to this manga review. Next time, I will have a manga review for Skip Beat Volumes 5 and 6 and a movie review for the Justice League. Thank you, and until next time.